Today, let's talk about friends, social life and isolation, as I realize that it is often a source of shame for us introverts. I am an INFJ and most of my life I could count on the fingers of one hand the number of close friends that I had. And there were times in my life when I felt lonely because some of those friendships happened to actually be seasonal. And when you have maybe 4 close friends, when 2 go away, you have only 2 left. So I could get this sense of loneliness, but I also preferred being alone than being with people that I didn't vibe with, who I had to pretend to be someone else with, or who I could not feel seen by. And one of my clients told me last week that she felt she almost had no friends, and she felt a sense of shame around that because she compared herself to her partner who has lots of friends, and she felt lesser than. And this inspired this video today. And we go back to this fundamental difference between introverts and extroverts. One of my friends is for sure an extrovert, and if I compare the size of a friendship group to mine, there would be a huge contrast, and I could feel really triggered by that. Unfortunately, in our society, a lot of people have been wired to think that if somebody has a lot of friends, it means that they are lovable. Therefore, it means that they have value. Therefore, it means that they want to know them as a person. They want to be friends with them as well because they seem really popular and a good person to be with. And there's that awkward image still of the introvert who spends a lot of time alone, who doesn't have many friends. And I want to help you clear this shameful and awkward belief around introversion and around the quantity of friends that we have. First, for an introvert, it's always about quality, not quantity. And it does make sense because as introverts, we tend to feel drained by too much social interactions, especially if the social groups don't match our need for depth, don't match our sensitivity or our inward or more abstract thinking, depending on your personality type. So we have to be selective naturally and value high quality closeness over many, superficial or not, relationships. Secondly, famous psychologist Carl Jung researched introversion and high sensitivity a lot, being himself an introvert and an HSP. And something he said that struck me is that when you have the awareness that most social interactions are based on ego, on performance, on unconscious need fulfillment, and on projection, then you naturally choose isolation. And it's not necessarily being in complete isolation, but it is maybe about spending more time by yourself than you spend with other people. Introverts and HSPs tend to have this awareness of social dynamics. And you may notice that you naturally analyze the dynamics in a social setting and have an intuition of what is truly at play there. Choosing to be yourself instead of playing into those superficial dynamics is then a choice. And it is a decision that Jung really praises. He believes it is the path to individuation. Jung describes individuation as the process of self-realization, the discovery and experience of meaning and purpose in life, the means by which one finds oneself and becomes who one really is. So for introverts who often feel the need to create a persona instead of being themselves because they feel that way they will be liked, they would be accepted, they would be able to belong, I think this is a really powerful reminder that it is completely okay to be selective, completely okay to choose your tribe, because it liberates this very precious alone time that helps you connect to yourself, understand yourself better, connect to your own tastes, to your desires, to what you truly like. And that helps you break the persona that you had created for yourself. And ultimately, it will lead to self-realization, at least to more of it. And that's the work that I'm doing with a client at the moment. And that involves self-discovery and the clearing of what does not feel right, of what does not serve her. So as you can see, isolation gets to be a choice and it gets to be a very precious time, not something to be ashamed of. Those who tell you that you need to have more friends project their fear of loneliness onto you. But as an introvert, you probably know how to appreciate this alone time better than most. However, of course, we are social creatures, and the right relationships and friendships get to be really fulfilling, fun, and get to be a source of joy, of love, connection, and fulfillment. But we get to be selective. Thirdly, when you compare yourself to people who have a very large network group and lots of friends, it is because of a cognitive bias. You're processing information through a filter in your brain that is telling you, I am lesser than, I am not lovable, I am not good enough, my company has no value. And that's your cognitive bias. That leads you to unconsciously distort reality to make it fit your limiting beliefs. And we are doing that completely unconsciously every day. And what it does is that it reaffirms the limited identity that you actually want to disconnect from, that you want to get rid of. To help you work through this, there is a Calm Confidence Workbook that you can download for free. It has a lot of potency. It's going to help you uncover those cognitive biases that are holding you back into this limited identity. It's going to help you ground into confidence and really find your value, especially if you're an introvert or a highly sensitive person. You can download it right now. The link is in the description box. So being aware that there is this cognitive bias in you, can you shift your focus from I'm not normal, there's something wrong with me, I'm ashamed of not having many friends, to I am selective with my friendships because I have awareness and sensitivity, but I am open to connecting with people who are the right tribe for me. Can you allow yourself to see this alone time as being something very precious? A space where you can learn who you are more and more, and where you can work on yourself. You need this time to work on yourself. You can't do it when you're around other people all the time. And all of that is going to help you be more authentic and freer in your social interactions. It's going to help you come to a social interactions not from performance, not from feeling that you need to perform, but from an intention of connection. So I have 2 little exercises for you. The first one is to make a list of all the things that make you and your company valuable. And that's going to help you see that feeling that you're not lovable, that you're not valuable is a lie, because you actually truly are. So making this list can be very helpful, and you can also ask people around you to give you some feedback on this, to tell you what they feel when they're around you, what they feel that your energy is. And you're going to see that you actually have a lot of value and a very, very lovable personality and energy. Secondly, if you've been ashamed of being by yourself a lot of the time, then you may have actually denied yourself the opportunity to appreciate this time alone. So what about now getting intentional about this alone time and figuring out some activities that you can do by yourself, that you love doing by yourself, and implementing them into your life? For me, that would look like reading, writing, having a cup of coffee while looking through the window and just thinking or reflecting on things, working on myself, letting my mind wander in a new place, going for a walk in nature, or taking myself to a coffee shop or to a bookshop. What is it for you? Make that little list again for you and start integrating those activities in your alone time. It's going to feel so much more precious. It's going to help release the shame. All that I've said today is going to help you release the shame around that feeling that you don't have enough friends, that you should be more surrounded, that you're not valuable and lovable. Did this help? What are your biggest takeaways from this video? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to connect with you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.